The marriage divorce hustle. Men beware. The marriage divorce hustle. Men beware. What's up, everybody? My name is Kier, and you are watching the important things that really matter. Today, we're going to be talking about the marriage divorce hustle. Men beware. This is extremely important subject. This is one of those subjects, one of these video series. I'm going to probably do 2 or 3 videos on this particular subject. This video series is so important that you need to go and watch all of them. This is part 1 of the marriage divorce hustle. Men beware. This video and the video series, I'm going to probably do about 2 or 3 videos on the subject, can literally save you $50,000, $100,000 very easily if you follow the instructions, you follow the advice. And you really and truly need to think about what I'm talking about today, because literally, if you marry the wrong person, it can literally cost you a minimum of $100,000, a minimum of $100,000. And so we're going to get into that today. So here we go. What is extremely important for you to understand is that, and I'm going to say this about 3 times so that you really understand what I'm saying. 80% of divorces are filed by women. 80% of divorces are filed by women. One more time. 80% of divorces are filed by women. 90% of college-educated women file for divorce. Let me say that again. 90% of college-educated women file for divorce. We're going to get into that a little bit too. Is why is it that 90% of college-educated women file for divorce? Well, maybe it has something to do with the $150,000 of student loan debt that they have, or it might have something to do with the $250,000 of student loan debt that they have, or it might have something to do with the $500,000 of student loan debt that they have if the person is a woman who is going to school to be a doctor. It may have something to do with the $500,000 of student loan debt that they may have. Maybe part of the reason why they got married to begin with anyway, to take half of your money to help pay off some of the student loan debt. Okay? So that might have something to do with why 90% of college-educated women file for divorce. Okay, so one thing that you have to take into consideration also too, I was listening to a female attorney. This female attorney had said that she thought, this was a female attorney who was a divorce attorney. No, so we're talking about somebody that's in the court system on a regular basis. We're talking about somebody that's in the court system on a regular basis, okay? This woman, who's a female attorney, divorce attorney, she stated she thought it was about 90% of women who file for divorce, period. Okay, for what she knows is being in the courtrooms all the time. So let me ask you this question. If 80 to 90% of women file for divorce, really is it in your best interest to get married if 80 to 90% of women who file for divorce? I'll let you answer that question. And I said 80 to 90%. So that's almost 100%. That's almost like saying, okay, you're getting married knowing that you're going to get divorced. And there was another female attorney, fair use. Another female attorney had stated that it's going to take you a minimum of $100,000 to divorce. A minimum of $100,000 to divorce. A minimum. There was a guy recently that I was reading within the last 2 months. He said it took him $135,000 to get his divorce. And I don't think they were married for like 3 years. There was a celebrity. Him and his wife is in church, and you can't go by, okay, you met your wife in church and she should be a good girl, because that's very deceptive. This particular celebrity, him and his wife were in church. So he probably thought he got himself a good girl or whatnot. That woman divorced him. I don't think I don't think the marriage lasted 3 years before his wife divorced him for little or no reason. Had a good husband. Husband was a celebrity. Husband was a movie star. Husband had a mansion. And you're going to divorce a man in under 3 years? To me, sounds like fraud. Because to me, it's almost like this. If you divorce somebody in under 5 years, it's almost sounding like maybe you had planned to divorce the person before you married the person. So, to me, sound like fraud. And so, I don't know, maybe some of you all, if you happen to be in a situation like that, you might want to get your attorney to sue the person for fraud. Because in this guy's particular situation, this man wasn't even married 3 years before his wife that wanted to divorce him moved out and took everything out of the house, which to me is ridiculous. But anyway, that's on the celebrity level. If you're on a celebrity level, that person's going to make sure that they get pregnant real quick so they can get $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month in child support for a kid that only supposed to receive maybe $500 a month in child care. But the person, because the person's a celebrity, thinks that they're supposed to get $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month every month for the next 20 years because of a child. We all know that stuff is absolutely ridiculous. Excuse me, the person for the most part is taking most of that money and putting that money in their pocket and do whatever the heck they want to do with it. And along those particular lines, and when you talk about dealing with celebrities, and so once again, before I go into this even further, please share this with as many men as possible. Please share this with as many men as possible. Please share this with as many men as possible, because it's extremely important. Save yourself $100,000. Save yourself $50,000. Save yourself $100,000. Save yourself $150,000. And if you happen to be a celebrity, save yourself millions of dollars. Share this with as many people as possible, many men as possible, but especially celebrities also too, because the average guy is going to spend about $100,000, anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 or $150,000 to get out of the divorce. Do you have that type of money to just give up when I just stated that 80% to 90% of divorces are filed by women? Do you just have $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 just laying around just to give away? Please like, please share, please subscribe. Please like, please share, please subscribe. I guarantee you, if you subscribe and you like and you share, if you subscribe, you'll have access to information from my channel that can save you thousands upon thousands of dollars and also save you a whole lot of pain and suffering, just like this video I'm putting together today. This video right here now can literally easily save you $50,000 to $100,000 to $150,000 easily. I gave you some very, very important pieces of information. And make sure you share this with as many men as possible. Make sure you share this with as many men as possible. Make sure that you share this with as many men as possible. Remember, 80 and 90% of divorces are filed by women. 80 to 90% of divorces are filed by women. Knowing this, if you're a regular guy, it could cost you $100,000, $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 to get a divorce. If you're a celebrity, it can literally cost you millions of dollars if you get divorced. And so one thing that has to be understood is that if you are an athlete, a celebrity that's making millions of dollars, I don't even know why you would even get married. Now, first of all, I say that because number one, I am all for marriage. 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 I'm all for it. But when you see the numbers which says 80 or 90% of divorces are filed by women, why is there a reason to get married when 80 to 90% of divorces are filed by women? Okay? If you're an athlete and you're making millions of dollars, like this one particular goofy guy did, was about to make, and I'm not even gonna mention the guy's name. That's his fault. He set up and got married. This woman's setting him up to take all his money, and the man's goofy parents. Oh God, brother. Anyway, I'm not even gonna bring this goofy person up in the least bit, nor this person's mother or father, which should have said something to this guy. If you're an athlete, I'm gonna tell you, just be straight up with you, man to man. If you're an athlete, don't even get married. Don't even get married. Because there's people sitting up there waiting for you. They're gonna make you believe that they love you. They're gonna make you believe that they love you. They're gonna make you believe that they love you. So they take half your money. So you got somebody coming at you that don't have nothing, and you done worked hard to build something. You done worked hard. You done worked years to build your business, to build your brand, and then somebody comes along and takes half of it that didn't do nothing. And you spent years and years training, years and years. I was looking at this guy not too long ago. I think the guy's an attorney. He spent 30 years building his career, and his wife, for whatever particular reason, wanted to divorce him. Now she's able to take half the stuff, and I don't even think they were married that long. To me, that's like, to me, that's ridiculous. But anyway, if I was a celebrity, if I was an athlete, I wouldn't even get married to nobody. We can be friends, we can hang out, we can go out and spend time together with each other and stuff. But as far as marriage, why would you do that? To get somebody that usually in most cases don't have nothing, to take half of the money that you got, and then take your money and be screwing around with somebody else with your money. Laying up in the bed that you bought, laying up in the house that you bought, that you can't live in anymore because the court told you to move out of your house. Somebody laying up in bed with your wife in your house, a mansion. Court system told you to move out, while she lay in bed with some other guy in the bed that you spent in the house that you paid for, spending your money on this guy. So on the new guy. So if I was an athlete or entertainer, I wouldn't even get married at all, period. I just told you, 80% to 90% of divorces are filed by women. Are you willing to lose all that money? I don't even want to talk about the idiot that everybody and mama tried to talk to that man and his parents to try to persuade him not to get married to the, oh God. It's painful just to watch this athlete who's gonna give away all his money in a few years. Anyway, so please like, please share, please subscribe, share this video with as many people as possible, as many men as possible. And what I also want you to do is to come back for part 2 of the marriage divorce hustle, men beware, because what I'm gonna do in part 2 is talk to you about how a woman's body count. We'll talk about how a woman's body count. We'll talk about how a woman's body count is going to have everything to do with the success or failure of your marriage. In part 2, we're going to talk about how much a woman's body count has got everything to do with the success or failure of your marriage. Okay? Peace.